Now, Nigeria's Senate President Godswill Akpabio said that the All Progressives Congress will produce the next governor of Akwa Ibom State come 2027. While acknowledging the internal crisis in the APC in Akwa Ibom State, Akpabio said the party could not win the 2023 Senate election in Akwa Ibom Northeast and Akwa Ibom South districts because of lack of coordination. He urged the party to set up a committee to reconcile the party leaders in the state ahead of the 2027 general elections. Now, for a conversation on this, let's now turn to a former senior special assistant to the president on Niger Delta affairs, Senator Ita Enang. Senator Enang will also discuss efforts at rebuilding the APC in Akwa Ibom State. Good afternoon, Senator. Thank you for joining us here on Newsday.
Good afternoon and congratulations, Newsday.
Thank you. So let's just start with what you like to see in terms of attempts for reconciliation in Akwa Ibom, as hinted by the Senate President Godswill Akpabio. What should that committee that should be set up entail to foster this reconciliation and make sure that it lasts?
Well, the effort and the trip that was undertaken by the Senate President, Senator Dr. Godswill Akpabio, the President of the Senate and leader of the party in Akwa Ibom State, I was in his delegation from Abuja to the states, and we visited Eket Senatorial District stakeholders. We visited Uyo Senatorial District stakeholders on Thursday last week, and on Friday, the following day, we were at the Ikot Senatorial District stakeholders. Now, the effort we are making now, himself, myself, and all genuine APC members, is to make sure that first we heal the wounds of the 2023 elections, and then we now count our stock, and then that is our flock, and then find out those who are who were angry and have left the party, or simply start back at home and were not interested in working for the party. Bring them in, bring them on board, reassure them, and then work on reconciliation. That's what we're doing. I'm sure you could also have seen that a lot of principal stakeholders were not at that meeting because it was the notice was short, the flight time that were given, and it was a little conflicting by those who arranged it. So, but the Senate President is assured that we're going to do another one. We were working together, myself, myself, and all other stakeholders. We will have a bigger one, like he has indicated, so that we bring the party together to make sure that we target and win the 2027 governorship election, in addition to restoring and returning APC to the government at the federal level with our president as our doing a second term.
All right, thank you for that, Senator. Now, what is the current situation of the two factions of the APC that existed prior to the election? And what is the current situation, the condition of the relationship between the Senate President and John Akpan Udo Edehe?
Well, it's not, those were not the two, anyway, let me not go in there. My brother, distinguished Senator J.J. Akpan Udo Edehe, has left the party, and he was the candidate of the ANPP for the gubernatorial elections. So he is no more a member of the party. He had defected. He didn't defect. He resigned from the party, from the ward and at all level, and took the gubernatorial ticket of the New Nigerian People's Party. So what happened was that when that happened, we now, all the genuine members of APC had joined my camp, the camp of the Senate President, and my camp, and then we now were working together. But then there was this problem. After he left, you remember in the congresses we had, that faction produced a candidate from House of Assembly, House of Representatives to Senate. And then the other body, where I worked with Senator Akwa Ibom and myself, somehow we produced another set of candidates, including gubernatorial candidates. Now, there was dispute in the court throughout all those persons. So this was the issue why we couldn't forge a common front to be able to put up candidates. I'm sure you would have followed all the candidates, right from DIG Ekbodom, who contended and contested on on one section, and the Senator Akwa Ibom, who now won on the other block, having the present Minister of Gas having declined and surrendered the ticket to him. Now, that happened in Uyo Senatorial District also, where we had two blocks, two senatorial candidates, or two gubernatorial, and also happened in the gubernatorial election, where I contended that I am the genuine candidate of the party for the gubernatorial election, and another Mr. Odofia, who came from the PDP, also contended that he is the candidate, and we contested and contended up to the Supreme Court. In the end, we did not have a candidate, a gubernatorial candidate, although it was said in the media that there was a candidate. But even INEC, on the date of declaring the results, said that APC had no gubernatorial candidate. So the question of the NNPP candidate does not arise because he is no more a member of the party, and we are trying to put back APC as a member. But those who coming back from NNPP and every party, we are welcoming them, and we are going to welcome them.
Well, speaking of welcome, we do know that, not too long ago, the Senator Bassi Akpan of the Young People's Progressives Party, he did defect from YPP and has, joined the APC. And that also seemed to have inspired the Senate President to say that, I'm going to take a quote here, that no force would stop the APC from taking over Akwa Ibom State governorship from the ruling People's Democratic Party in 2027. That's a very bold statement. Besides the efforts towards reconciliation and this defection that we've seen, what are the other metrics that do you think that have inspired the Senate President to make this bold statement?
One, he is a number 3 citizen, and as the number 3 citizen, he has galvanized his home base. So all of us are working with him. All the differences, we've endeavored to sink all the differences. That is why you saw all of us, the Senate President, myself, the state chairman of the party, and other leaders were there to receive the members of the YPP and PP, that is the leadership. And now we are also waiting and receiving, because other political parties and the governorship candidates have indicated that they cannot be in Akwa Ibom and allow the Akwa Ibom state to be in the minority party. Now, the governor of Akwa Ibom and the government of Akwa Ibom state is now PDP. And this is the only time that Akwa Ibom has been in the PDP, a minority party. We've always been with the ruling party. So we want to ensure that we overtake PDP and produce the governor of Akwa Ibom State from 2027 on. That is as APC. We are doing everything, and we are sinking our differences. And I know that there are some issues with some members who are worried one way or the other. But we want to assure them that in our language, we say, that no matter how full the church is, there is always the seat for the pastor. So let us allow and bring in every person. All interests will be accommodated. We will sink our interest. But one thing we want to say is that this problem did not arise from Akwa Ibom State. It arose from the national office of the party, because our brother, the then national secretary of the party, who became the governorship candidate of NNPP, used the position he had as National Secretary and member of the National Working Committee and made sure that he took and ensured that all ward officers, including ex-officio, including the ex-officio and ward chairman of the Senate President now, who was then the Minister of Niger Delta Affairs. I was advisor to the President of National Assembly, then advisor to the President on Niger Delta.
Senator, if you may allow me to interject.
He took up to the ward chairman of my ward. So these are the things that caused the problem.
Very much understood. Now, if you just allow me to interject, there's some members of society and critics who are saying that they feel that this move undermines the current government and the current administration, and there are now questions as to whether the Senate President is the one who is to anoint a candidate, or whether the candidate, the next governor, of the state, is to come from the people. So what are your takes on this?
He did not say that he will anoint a candidate. And there is no question of any candidate being preferred. The field is still open, although now there will be no means, and he is not in any manner trying to impose a candidate. And he said he will not impose. So every person should be confident that we are going to have a level playing field in every situation.
Well, we'd like to thank you for your insight and for your time as well.
I was there throughout the meeting with him, and there was no such statement, sir.
Well, thank you for clarifying. Again, we'd like to thank you for your time here on Newsday. Former Senior Special Assistant to the President on Niger Delta Affairs, Senator Ita Enang. Thank you for joining us.